Okay, so hopefully you've wandered into thinking about paganism. Hopefully now you have thought what paganism means to you, and you have been able to maybe figure out what tradition you would like to follow. Next, I'm going to deal with deity. I'm going to read you first a passage from one book, and then I'm going to actually read you the passage from my own Book of Shadows on deity, which is basically an interpretation. First, from another book, it says, paganism is based in search, not dogma. Pagans are also flexible in their beliefs about deity, because most pagans believe that God concepts are, if nothing else, just ideas. And elaborating on that, it's true, as I've been taught to believe that there was one time when the human race itself was very close to deity. It knew a lot more about deity than it does now. And over time, as civilizations grew, we sort of got into this mindset that we were smarter than deity and that we didn't need it. And so a lot of the traditions that we were originally taught by deity have been completely lost to us, and we would never be able to get them back again. So nowadays we have so many civilizations and countries and religions that have their ideas of God. And what I've found through my searching is that pretty much every religion has the same story, but it's like a different version of it. The way I could kind of explain this is like someone who read the King James Bible, and then you had someone who turned around and read an apologetic or a Holman Christian Standard Bible. You're reading the same story, but it's a different version. And when you truly get into religions and start studying that, you will find that pretty much it's all the same thing. It's a different concept and a different version. You just have to find for yourself what you want to follow, how you want to follow that idea of deity. And for me, that's one of the reasons I became a pagan. Because to me, pagans are somewhat more in tune with the earth, and I think to be close to deity at all, you have to be close and in tune with its creations, which is what the earth is. Now, I'm going to read deity from my own Book of Shadows, and I'll show you this chart here on how my coven has pretty much broken down exactly what deity is. It says, deity from the view of the witch. The coven views deity as one embodiment of divine energy, represented in 3 ways with 3 names. These aspects represent the parts of deity which make up the balanced energy of life. As well as the 3 parts, each part has both a light and dark side, like night and day. These sides do not represent good or evil, but rather the different energies one can choose to connect with. Witches give names to their deities' aspects, though most only refer to each aspect side as white or black. Listed below are all the names used by Ansus Rogera and the particular qualities they represent. The list is given in an explanation and chart form, starting with the Great Spirit, or High Being, and breaking this divinity into all its aspects. Names in parentheses are alternate names. Basically, after long study, me and my coven, well, really my coven member, it was 3 of us at the time, we decided, we kind of went on a soul searching, and we decided that for us, deity would be this, and it was written down, and we followed it this way ever since. And we start off with, I'm going to move the camera and show you. We start off with the Great Spirit, and then we have our other ways of listing him here. Most commonly we pray to the Great Spirit. If we're looking for deity at all, we ask the Great Spirit. We call him the All-Divine or the Mystery. Essentially this is the creator that all the religions in the world are trying to reach. We understand there is a creator in the world, it's a divine force, it's someone we do not understand. But we can give names and aspects to him in trying to hopefully come closer to him. And in the true pagan sense, we have broken the Great Spirit into three parts, or Trinity. The spirit side, which is basically the ethereal force that connects human beings with the Great Spirit. So we are all connected by spirit. We have the female side of the Great Creator, and we call this Goddess. And we have the male aspect of him, which is God. We got the idea that it's one person with both a goddess and god aspect to them. I mean, it's depending on what the situation is, he can be the one or the other. The way we came up with this was we looked at humans themselves. Humans are one body, but they both have aspects of a goddess and a god in them, and it's all about which side you choose to more firmly embrace. Spirit, we have broken down into white spirit and black spirit. Not to say that means it's good or evil spirit, it's just which side do you want to deal with at the time. White spirit is pretty much the fluffy side of spirit, and you have black spirit, who is more of the dark, you know, shadowed side of spirit. It's sometimes you have to be dark in order to get done the work you need. Sometimes we call these white oak and black oak. You will see when we reference any plants or anything in this Book of Shadows, it's reference to plants and trees and things that grow naturally in our own environment. The goddess, of course, we have Morrigan, she's our black goddess, and we have Bridget, our white goddess, who's also known as Goddess, Mother Earth, Mother Goddess, and Great Mother. And then for God, we have Lu for our black god, and our white god is Senonis, or our green man. These are Celtic gods that we have chosen to follow, and down here is a description of each name. Excuse me, if we're looking for it, but I'm not really going to explain that to you. So basically, that's how my own coven has broken down deity. I'm pretty much showing you that because I think for a lot of beginners it might make it easier if you break it down and explain how essentially we have different names for one divine person. It goes kind of along with, of course, Christianity. They believe in a Trinity, you know, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Well, essentially for my coven we've broken it down into Spirit, God, and Goddess. When you are trying to find your own deity, one thing to do is, of course, figure out first what tradition you want to follow. That's going to lead you kind of on the path into a list of deities. Now, what we think in my own coven, and I keep saying that, but I'm just trying to explain how we've broken it down. Maybe it'll help you break it down yourself. But what we believe is that ancient civilizations gave different names for the same thing. It's essentially like, if I wanted to reach the Great Spirit, but I wanted to reach him as a mother, I would call on the goddess. And that is what a lot of ancient Egyptians did. Ancient civilizations. I saw the word Egyptian in the book. That's essentially what they did. So, and it's the same for us today. If we want to call on a certain aspect in a ritual, or we want to embrace a particular divine energy, we will seek it out as a god in itself by a certain name. This book again, which I love, of course, it has an amazing chapter on deities. And not only is the chapter on deities amazing, it lists so many cultures. Egypt, Middle Eastern, Greek, of course. Greeks, let's see. Greek, Romans, Africans, Celtics, Russian, Slovenia, Norse, Chinese, Indian, you know, Japanese, Aztec, Mayan, Native American. It lists pretty much all the gods in that culture. If anyone who watches this video is trying to figure out anything about deity, you can, let's see, if you're trying to figure out anything about deity, or maybe you want to see the names in the list of my book, you can do that. And I don't know how to edit videos, so what I'm going to do is write down my email. If you want to contact me about any information you may want, this is my email. This is where you can send any witchy, what's the word? Any information about witchy stuff. You can send it here to my email. You can also look up this email on Facebook and befriend me if you want to. I'm not on Facebook a whole lot, but that's mainly because most of the people I talk to about witchy stuff is outside of the internet. So it's the Chronicle Witch, all one word, at gmail.com. My name is Victoria. I think I mentioned that in another video, but I stopped mentioning it in preceding ones. But yeah, basically, I hope that was helpful. If I need to elaborate any more, you can leave a comment about it, and I'll try to elaborate some more if you need it. But honestly, that's just the breakdown of deity for a beginner witch, and I hope it was helpful. My next video will pretty much be about dedicating yourself to the craft. You've learned what paganism is, you've chosen a tradition, and hopefully now you're on the route to find deity, and I hope to give you a little tour. I might even set up the altar for it, on how to dedicate yourself. I'm not going to put my dedication ritual on YouTube. This is really nothing. It's not, the dedication ritual I have in my grimoire is not really considered that private to my coven. There are some rituals I will never be able to show you because they're specifically for my coven eyes only. But I'll show you the dedication ritual. Before that, I may go through and explain to you traditions and some what we call amendments to our traditions. Way of the Witch, the Wiccan beliefs, the Wiccan Read. A lot of people have probably seen the Wiccan Read. I'm not going to show that. It's pretty much general knowledge. The 13 Wiccan beliefs are in here, but I mean, they're general knowledge as well, so I'm not going to show you that. Let's see. The principles of paganism, I may show you that. It's kind of like the 13 Wiccan beliefs, only it is with paganism. That's what I think I'll do. I'll give you a tour and kind of an explanation of what a tradition of Wicca can be. I'll explain to you the Way of the Witch and principles of paganism, and then probably after that video I'll go through and do a video on how to dedicate yourself to the craft.